Hi everyone. Earlier this week, we talked about how readers stop and think, what is this mostly about whenever they're reading information books? Today I want to teach you that readers hang on to key details in their books. Okay? And when they hang on to key details, they ask themselves, who or what is this mostly about? What is happening? When or where is this taking place? Why is this happening? Why is this important? And how does this work? My class has a little song we sing about this. I've got the who, what, where, when, why, and how. I've got the who, what, where, when, why, and how. I've got the who, what, where, when, why, and how. I've got the question words in my hands. We've thought about these words when we're writing, but we also want to think about these words, these question words, when we're reading. So let's try this with the book about nurses that we started reading on Monday. Okay, I'm going to look at the table of contents and remind myself what this book was mostly about. Okay, we read how do nurses start their shifts. We read what do nurses wear to work. What do nurses do? Okay, how do nurses help doctors? And do nurses take breaks? I think that's where we left off. So I would say that the who in this book is, the who is the nurses, right? And it's the what is about what they do every day. It's about what they wear and maybe what they do to help take care of their patients, right? How they take the blood pressure and they ask them what's wrong. The where in this book is in a doctor's office, right? Somewhere where nurses work. And so far I'm thinking that the why is that it's about why nurses do all of these things to help people, right? The nurses do all of this to help doctors and to help get the patients ready to see the doctors. So now I'm going to pick up where we left off over here, and I'm going to keep thinking about these questions. What tools do nurses use? Nurses use tools to check a patient's health. Alton uses an ear thermometer to measure Jerry's body temperature. Jerry uses other tools. Alton listens to Jerry's heart and lungs with a stethoscope. He uses a blood pressure monitor to take Jerry's blood pressure. So the what here is what tools the nurse is using, right? And I'm thinking, why is this happening? Well, the why is so that the nurse can check what might be wrong or why people might be sick. The nurse is using a thermometer, this bold word, or a stethoscope to see what could be bothering the patients. What skills do nurses need? Nurses use many skills. Nurses must like to help people. They help people stay healthy. Alton makes patients feel comfortable at the clinic. Nurses also use reading and math skills. Alton reads bottles to pick out the right medicine. He uses math to measure how much medicine to give a patient. And this is what's happening at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. How do nurses end their shifts? Nurses have work to do at the end of their shifts. Alton finishes writing in patients' charts. He writes down the things he did for the patients. Alton remembers all the people he helped today. Fun fact, about 2 million people in the United States work as nurses. Okay. This must be really important to write down the people who he helped because this way he could keep track of who he saw and who he gave medicine to. This way, if somebody calls him back and asks a question, Alton can look at his charts and know exactly what he did to help people. And that's the end of this book. So now that the book is finished, I want to think, why is this important that we read this book? Why was this important? Well, it was important to learn about nurses because now we know all of the different things that nurses do to help us, okay? And we learned how they do all of those things. So readers, remember when you're reading on your own to think about those key details as you're reading, to hang on to those key details. Hang on to the who, the what is happening, the where or when that something is taking place. You're thinking about why this is happening, why it's important, and how something works. Try this on your own when you're reading information books. Off you go.